So yesterday, basically, we just had a background around the fusion applications of Oracle, the framework. What are the detail, what are the different domains that Oracle is catering to the applications, and similarly, we had an understanding on what exactly we from our training program for Oracle Fusion Financials we would be looking at. Okay, all the applications, what are the different applications that we will be looking at, and also we have understood what is the what specifically we will be training on. It's not just how to use the Oracle application, we will also be training on how to even implement the applications. Okay, so these are the two sides that we discussed about yesterday. So there is a set of configurations that we will be learning about, and also on how to utilize the application for the day-to-day business transaction activities, that also we will learn. So these are the two things that we will take about, or try to cover in the in our training course. All right, having said that, today we will start with our application trainings. Okay, and the first and foremost thing that we will learn is how to navigate around the application. So once you log into your environment, okay, a few details about the environments also I will let you know, and then we will see how we can navigate around the application, and then the few of the components that are there we will understand about that, and then we will start with the foremost thing, that is the security administration. That is the basis, okay, because accesses and everything, how do you get an access, how the accesses are defined, all those things are something related to security. Okay, so that we will have a look at. Just give me one moment, please. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so we will understand about the security aspects, because that is how that is the basic. Once you start with your application journey, you need to understand how the security administration works, and then we will move on to the application aspects. Okay, so basically with that, this is our agenda. Okay, getting familiar with Oracle Fusion UI and navigational components, understanding the security administration, and then we will move on to understanding the Oracle enterprise structures. Okay. So, or understanding Oracle Fusion. So basically, there are certain landing page. So landing page, as in the home page that we.
No, sorry, sir. Your screen is muted. I cannot see anything.
Okay. Let me stop sharing. Share again. Are you able to see the agenda?
No, I cannot see anything.
That's loading. Others, are you able to see the screen?
Now it came.
Okay.
And again it's gone.
What about
Maybe
others? Are you able to see?
We are able to see.
Yeah, we are able to see.
Disha, some
Okay.
issue at your end.
Okay, I will leave and join again. Okay.
Okay, fine. All right, so this is the agenda. Okay, and basically we will understand on the Fusion UI user interface, basically how it looks, and what are the financial offerings, and we will navigate to the setup and maintenance, all those things we will have a look at. So let's log into the application. Okay, so this is how we will have a URL. Okay, so there will be a specific URL, which is also called as an environment. Okay, or it is also called an instance. Okay, instance basically, each instance actually Oracle provides for the application access. Okay, so there is a, so from a typical implementation perspective, there would be each client, okay, or each business who procure the services or licenses will have, maybe one more than one environment. Okay, one will be called a production environment or their live environment. Okay, where they actually perform their what do you say, their business day-to-day business activities, and then there will be an additional maybe one or two environments for the testing activities. So definitely, if at all during their course of production or live environment, if they face any issue, it is you cannot perform any kind of testing on the live environment, right? Because it will distort the application. It is not a testing thing. So that is where additional environments are provided, which are called test environments, okay, or development environments, where basically the consultants, okay, the in-house consultants or Oracle financial consultants, or therefore, for that matter, any other stream related consultants, they can go in and they can test the issue, why, what exactly they are facing, or why exactly they are facing that particular issue. So as a result of that, what happened, as a part of that, what is done is whatever is there on the production environment, okay, to some extent, what they do is they clone it to the, that means they copy that particular production environment to the test environment, okay, and then the respective consultants, they are able to do the testing to make sure why that particular thing is coming up, and then in turn they try to resolve it by themselves. And if they are not able to resolve it, then basically they get in touch with the Oracle the support team, okay, who actually help them out in resolving the issues. So that is why I just wanted to explain that this is the URL that is provided for each instance or each environment that they are given. So production, for production environment, there will be one URL. For test and for development, there will be some other URLs available. Okay, and then there would be a user ID and password. Okay, so each user who is able to log in, okay, has been created first of all as a user in the security administration section. Okay, as part of the security administration, each of the user and their respective passwords and credentials would have been created, okay, in the security structure, okay, by the IT admin, or whoever is responsible for maintaining the security related aspects in each of these environments. Okay, now this is how the login page looks like, and we will I will input the credentials that I have with me. Okay, and this is how the landing page is all about. Okay, this is how it looks. So basically there will be some information that is coming up. So here it is customized. Okay, you are learning Fusion HCM or something like that, there would be coming up. Okay, and then there would be a welcome screen saying hello world, then the username, all these things would be there. Additionally, there might be some other dashboards which are available as per the business requirement, which would have been customized. Okay, now after this, you see there are certain icons on the page. Okay, so this one, okay, this is this particular menu kind of thing, this is called the navigator. Okay, and under this navigator, what would you see? You would see all the application workspaces and workbenches. Okay, work areas, you can say. Okay, all the application related work areas where you have an access to work upon. Okay, so just as an example, let me show you this one. Let's see, expenses. So expenses, this application access is given to you, and hence it is coming under the navigation. And under each workspaces or work areas, you will have the respective work benches available. Okay, with respect to specific topics. Okay, so expenses, it is all about auditing that you can see here, because that is the only access that is provided. Similarly, let's say, for example, the financial application we are talking about, right? So payables, let's say you will be able to see payables, receivables here. See, so under receivable, there are certain workbenches with respect to billing, with respect to accounts receivable. Okay, billing means generation of the invoices and invoicing related activities. Similarly, accounts receivable means receipt and receipt related activities that can be performed, certain programs that can be run for accounting. Okay, all those things are available within these work areas again as functions. Okay, so main application will be there, and then under that there would be work areas, okay, available, or workbenches available. And under each of the workbenches there would be certain functions or tasks that you can perform will be available to you based on the access that has been provided. Okay, it is important to note these things will come up in the navigator if at all you have been given access, okay, to those respective applications. So in our today's session, in the later towards the later end, we will understand how the accesses work. That also we will see how the security accesses are provided, how the application accesses are provided, okay, and how you in turn will be able to see all these things. Okay, so this is called the navigator. Okay, and then this is the search icon. Okay, so if you want to search something, you can search it over here. Okay, and as a general, generally we have it in the web browser. The similar functionality is available here. Okay, then we have the home page. Okay, so home page is basically whenever we are on some other pages or some other application, you want to directly jump back to the home screen. So that is where you have the home icon over here. Okay, then there is this favorites and recent items. So just like we on the browser we bookmark, right, certain recent pages that you have visited and you want to revisit it, so you mark it out. Okay, so as favorites or something. Okay, so that is the same functionality that you can see in the Oracle applications as well. So if there is a specific certain page or specific recent pages that you have visited, okay, so those will be available to you. So let me click on that and I'll show you. See, add to favorite. So if you are on a particular page and you want to add that page as a favorite so that you can easily navigate to that every time that you want to perform your tasks and activities, so that is where you can add it as a favorite. Okay, then recent items. So recent items will show you all the pages that you have recently visited. Okay, so these you can see as all the recently visited pages. Okay, then you have a watch list. So watch list means basically certain key items that you want to regularly monitor. Those you add it as a watch list, right? So speaking about financials, and you majority of you might be from the financial background, or all of us today are familiar with the stocks and stock tradings and stock analysis and all. So therefore you might be aware that every application with respect to the stock trading or stock analysis, they give you certain watch list functionality where you can add and you can track your stocks, right? So you are familiar with those concepts. So same thing is here. In case of watch list, you can actually have watch or analyze or review certain key functions or key processes, okay, with respect to the ERP application. Okay, so like in this case, if you look here, incomplete transaction. With respect to billing transactions, there is a watch list called incomplete transactions. And you want to quickly navigate and check what are the number of incomplete transactions and you need to take an action accordingly. Then in that case, you can quickly from the watch list itself, you can navigate and you can analyze and also take necessary actions. Okay, similarly, in this case, let's see if payments with respect to payments, what is the watch list added under it? Stop requests. So how many payments are stopped? So you might want to keep a regular check on it. Okay, so that is why it has been added as part of the added as part of the watch list, so that you can check the numbers and accordingly take actions, corrective actions, or for that matter any further actions for resolving those things. Okay, or keeping an eye on those things. Okay, so these are all the key indicators basically which are included in the watch list, and it comes up based on the accesses that you have, the application accesses that you have. Okay, then this is the bell notification icon. So this is this bell notification basically gives you all the notifications that would have come to you. It can be a for your information notification, or it can be it can be a notification for your action. Okay, so let's say for example you are the manager in the organization, let's say for AP department, accounts payable department, and there are certain invoices that have been booked. Okay, and as per the delegation of authority that has been published by the organization for approval of invoices, you being a manager, you are part of the approver, or you are an approver in the hierarchy, okay, or in the approval chain. So in such a case, whenever an invoice is sent for approval by the junior accountant, okay, then you will receive a notification, and under this bell icon, if you click, you will see there is a notification that will come up. saying that, so and so invoice has come up for your approval. So you will have to take an action. Similarly, certain FYI information, that is for your information, notifications also would come up based on certain actions that have been provided. So in this case, you see there are certain notification like approved bank account transfer approval. It has been approved. Okay. So similar kind of notifications would come up. Okay. If you want to see more details, so you can click on more details and it will actually open up the main page, okay, of the notifications list. Okay. And in here, you will be able to see the tasks, my tasks. That means tasks that are pending for your action, or initiated tasks. That means the tasks that you have initiated. Okay. So like this case. Okay, then my staff task, basically, if at all you are a manager and you want to see the tasks that are pending from your subordinates, so you can see. Then certain there are administrative tasks. So administrative tasks basically are with respect to administrators, okay, who have to keep a watch on the aspects, some of the notifications and the respective actions that are to be taken. So administrative tasks would be available if at all the respective access has been granted. Okay. All right. So that's about the notification bell icon. Now there is something called this profile icon is there. Okay. And then in that profile icon, basically, you when you click on that, a settings and action pop up will open up. Okay. Now with respect to settings and actions, there are certain personalizations that you can do. Personalization as in setting certain preferences. Okay. So if you click on set preferences, you will be able to see language preference or regional preference, or if you want to add your photo, okay, or you want to update your passwords, or you want to update or add certain watch list, or delete something from the watch list. Those activities can be performed. Okay, so these are some of the general preferences that you can set. Okay. All right. Similarly, this is administration part. So administration part will only come up if you have been provided an access of an IT security manager, or or similar other people, so similar other accesses that grant the setup of functions. Okay, so only based on that this thing will come up. Okay, like setup and maintenance, this is coming up based on what? Based on the access that I have for security administrator or IT administrator, as well as the implementation consultant access. Okay, so being since I'm training you for configuration as well as for configurational aspects as well, right? So that is what can be accessed through the setup and maintenance. Okay, then certain diagnostic tests. So basically, in case of any issues faced, you want to run certain diagnostic tests to see what exactly is the issue, and you want to generate certain reports. Okay, so that is something that is facilitated using the run diagnostic test under the troubleshooting section. Okay, now this is again something that is accessed, or the access of it is received by the person who is supposed to manage these activities, generally an IT administrator. Okay, or for that matter, a implementation consultant who needs the access for doing setups as well as troubleshoot the issues that are faced by the business users, the end users. Okay, so business users are who? They are the end users who utilize the applications to carry out their day-to-day transactional, transactions and business activities. Okay, they are the end users and they regularly need support. Okay, for issues that they are facing, and that is where the task of consultants come up. Okay, who have to support them, who are to train them, who are to guide them on the use of application. Also their task is to implement or configure also some of the aspects. Okay, depending upon which stage or phase the business implementation is, I mean the business is in with respect to these Oracle Fusion products. Okay, then certain application help is there. Then about the application, so this you have already seen yesterday. What this will give you is what is the current version of the application, and all these information will be displayed. One moment. All right. So this was all about the setups and I mean this is settings and actions. A brief about what all this is about. And now I will take you through the setup and maintenance. Okay. Why? Because we are to learn how to set up the different applications. Okay, within the Oracle login. Okay. So that is where you need to navigate to setups and maintenance from where from this particular settings and actions tab. Tab basically. Okay, so now setup and maintenance, we'll go click on that. Okay, and here you will see this is the screen that will come up for the setup and maintenance. Okay, and in here you see there are certain application aspects, or they are also called as offerings. Okay, so compensation management. Similarly, if I click on the drop down, you will see customer data management, customer loyalty. Okay, enterprise contracts, financial, fusion accounting hub, manufacturing and supply chain, material management, order management, procurement. Okay, so these are all the functional areas. Okay, based on the offerings that have been enabled. Okay, for that basically these are the functional areas, or you can say the offerings that is available to you. Okay, depending upon the different applications that you want to, or different streams or domains that you want to configure. Okay, now with respect to that, if you look here, now where are we going to go, or which are the setups that we are going to look at? The financial setups. Okay, so that is where you click on financials. And once you select financials, you will see the functional area changing. Okay, so functional area means basically the functions, the areas of functions that are to be performed within financials, and that would include all the applications that are related to financials, like the general ledger you see here. Similarly, payables you would see, payments you are seeing, cash management. Okay, transaction tax, expenses, fixed assets, receivables, for all the modules. Okay, that are part of financials. For that, these are the functional areas, and according to that there will be certain setup tasks. Okay, so now let me take you through the general ledger. Let's say, for example, as an example I'm showing. So if I click on the functional area called general ledger. Okay, so you see here this page, some things have come up. These are called tasks. Okay, the tasks which are related to, or you can say the setup tasks which are related to general ledger application. Okay, similarly, if I go to payables, click on payable functional area, then you would see these are certain tasks related to payables application that you will have to configure. Okay, so these are configurational tasks as it is called. Okay, and right now the display is required tasks, and if you see say all tasks, then it will display all the other optional tasks as well, depending upon the feature that is to be utilized or that is to be configured. Okay, for the business. So we will be seeing what are the different tasks for each application that we will have to configure for enabling those application. Okay, and there are also certain other aspects which are with respect to the common shared setups, or shared configuration elements. So like this, you will see initial users and enterprise profile, legal structure, financial reporting structure. These are some of the shared elements, and that is where something is mentioned as shared. Okay, here. Okay, so these are shared elements, and something which is actually shared across all applications, as in all offerings, you can say. Even if I go to compensation management, you will be able to see this. Okay, until financial reporting structure. Similarly, if I go to even customer data management, still you will be able to see all this as the like organization structure, legal structure, enterprise profile, initial user. These are the shared elements. Okay, why? Because this is something that is shared across all the application, and this is kind of a basic structure related, basic business structure related setups. Okay, which has to be there and which is commonly applicable for all. Okay, so we will have an understanding on those aspects as well, as and when we proceed or move ahead with our training. Okay, so what we need to go towards the financials under this setup. Select the financial offering, and then you can work on, or you can do the setups with respect to each of the application for which the company would have purchased the licenses. Okay. All right. So even if you don't know under which functional area a certain task comes up, then you have an option to search here. Okay, so you can search here. Let's say, for example, manage customer. That means I want to manage customer master data. Okay, or update something in the customer master data, or for that matter, create new customer data. Okay, so there is a task called manage customer. Okay, now how I don't know under which particular application this belongs to. Okay, so I don't know the functional area basically. Okay, under which I can I would be able to find the task called manage customer. So I can simply search it from here. So I will enter the keywords manage. The wildcard character that helps in the search process is percentage. Okay, and then manage percentage and customer. So I have entered the keywords and I will try to search, and it will show me all the tasks which are starting or which has the words called manage percentage or manage customer. Whatever has whatever tasks have that particular name will be displayed over here, and from that I can choose the one that I want to work on. Okay, like this. Okay, so this is just for your understanding how you can navigate around this page, the setup task pages. Okay, and what is functional area, what is an offering, what are these tasks all about. So this is all about the setup tasks for each of the application and each of the areas, the configuration areas in the ERP. Okay, so this is a brief about the navigational aspects. Now on the home page, let me go back to the home page. Okay, here also you will be able to see some of the aspects. Okay, so these are called again, these are all what, these are all the application accesses that you will be able to see, the same things that you could see in the navigator, right, as a menu. Okay, now it is displayed as a certain icons, okay, or tiles. Okay, so this is also called as a springboard. Okay, so in this particular area, you will be again able to see all the application accesses. So you can scroll to the right or to the left in order to navigate to a particular application. So let's say, for example, I click on Payables. So it will display the icons that are there available for certain of the payable workspaces or workbenches. Okay, for invoicing activity, you have this icon for invoice workbench. Okay, or for payment related activities, you have this access for payment workbench. Similarly, certain dashboard related to the payable application, these are there in this particular workbench. Okay, the dashboard related icon. Okay, so if you click on, it will again take you to the take you inside to those applications. So let me take with respect to payables, I'll go to invoice workbench to show you how this page looks like. So similar to that, for each of the application, there would be separate separate things that you can separate tasks, separate what do you say, page displays, everything will be there with respect to each of the application. So now this is for invoice. Okay, so invoice you would be able to see these are something called info tiles. Okay, so info tiles are something which basically gives you a summarized detail about some of the topics. Okay, like holds, like approval. For approvals, what are the pending approvals, what are the other approvals, what are the rejected approvals. Okay, so it is, these are the some of the info tiles, okay, which gives you key information regarding the specific subject area. Okay, this is not something that you can configure, it is something that is predefined info tiles. Okay, then similarly this is called task list. So within the invoice workbench, the activities related to invoices will be available to you in the task list. So this is called the task list. Okay, inside this task list you can see all the activities that you can perform with respect to the invoicing, like create invoice. These are called functions as well. Okay, creation of invoice, create invoice from spreadsheet, create recurring invoices, manage invoices, import payments, payment requests, create accounting. Okay, manage accounting periods. Okay, so all these are additional activities that you can see. Then there is this search icon. So some of the aspects that you would find under the search, so this will be for searching these things. Okay, so invoice number, supplier party, or supplier site, these are the things that are available in the search criteria. So based on this search criteria, you can search for the invoices. Okay, similarly this is the reports and analytics section. So certain reports, if you want to run, okay, that is available to you, okay, as per your specific reports that you are using, or shared reports that is shared and used across the organization. Okay, that you want to access. So accordingly, you can access it from these folders. Okay, list of reports would be there. If you look at the shared reports and analytics section, if you click on the drop down, it will give you, these are all the reports that is available, the shared reports that are available. Okay. And if I go to my folders, I will be able to see the specific reports that I have created for my use. Okay, specifically my cases. So that is where the accesses would be restricted. So my folder reports will only be visible to you, your ID. Okay, and shared reports will be available to all. Whoever is using the payable application and whoever has access to the payable application will be able to get run these particular reports. Okay, so this is the reports and analytics section. Okay, so this way you will find some things in each of the application. Okay, let me show you one more case. General accounting. General accounting is for the general ledger application. Okay, where all the journals, the final journals and balances are maintained. Okay, so in here you will see there is a general accounting dashboard. Similarly, there is journal work area. Okay, basically all the activities that you can perform with respect to journals. Okay, then period close. So period activity. Okay, period closure and opening activity is an integral part of the finance department. Okay, because the accounting and finance accounting related to the financial transactions has to be recorded in the respective periods, because that is what is dictated as per the accrual concepts, right? So that is where period is something which is again an important aspect, and therefore period close as a tab has been given with respect to, or you can say period close as a workbench has been provided with respect to general accounting. Okay, so each of the activities that you can perform in these respective work areas will be available if you navigate inside it. So let me go to journals. Okay, and you will see here, these are some of the dashboards that are available. Okay, and then this is the task list. Under this task list, you will be able to see all the tasks that you can perform with respect to the journals. Okay, so this is how the pages would look like with respect to each of the functional areas, the functional applications. This is how the different pages would be there, and different functions will be available for you to carry out. Okay, all these things we will definitely see when we are going through, once we have completed the setups, and then we are ready for doing the transactional activities or going through the transactional activities. We will be seeing all these tasks. We will be coming back to these sections. So what will be the course of what will be the approach? So we will take up application one by one. So first I will start with general ledger application. Okay, and in the general ledger application, first we will see what are the basic setups required. Okay, in order to enable certain ledgers. Okay, so that we will be able to do the transactions. And then once we have completed the basic setups, then we will move on to the general ledger related transactional activities, like creation of journal and all those aspects. Like that, we will move forward with each of the applications. So each of the application that we take up, first, we will complete the configurations required. Okay, the basic configurations that are required to enable the application for use, and then we will see, the transactional aspects. Okay, that can be performed with respect to each of the application. Okay, all right. Okay, now this particular layout that you see, the page layout, it is called the newsfeed layout. Okay, so in the newsfeed layout, this is the way things will appear, or the icons will appear. And then there would be certain additional sections below, news and announcements. So basically, with respect to the organization, certain news and news, or publications that they want to do, announcements they want to do, they can handle it. Okay, so that is kind of another integration that is there between Oracle and some the marketing and all the other human resource and all the other departments. Okay, so these things can be configured, and these can be used as news and announcement section. Okay, then we have something else, like these are called the notification area. So notifications we could navigate from the bell notification, right? But additionally, if you want to, if you scroll down in this section also, it will show you the notifications available. Okay, and you can go inside it. You can scroll from here, and if you click on show more, then it will again take you to that main notifications area, workspace. Then certain analytics related infolets will be available. Okay, so in the cash management, probably no infolets will be available. Let me Click on general accounting. Okay, so basically infolets are, again, some things like, info tiles only, where, certain key information will be displayed from an analytical point of view. So if you look here, when I clicked on general accounting, now you see there is an info tile for close calendar. Okay, what is this? That this will actually show you some details about the period closure for GL. Okay, then and other than that, then open subledgers. So that means for this particular period, what are the subledgers that are open? AR, AP, and all these are open. Similarly, something related to IC transaction. IC transaction means intercompany transactions. Then journals. The journal related detail it will provide you. Some of the journal related detail. Then with respect to AP reconciliation, AR reconciliation. Okay, this is an info tile which gives you some information. So these are actually kind of analytical workspaces, or workbench, analytical info lets, you can say, that are available, and which will give you certain information, key information for analysis purpose, quick analysis purpose. Okay, all right. Fine. Now we will move on with the security aspect. So this was all about the navigation, how you can navigate around the pages, and the primary pages and all. Okay, the home page, and all the other what do you say, icons that you see on this home page. Okay, now we will understand about the security aspect, because that should be a question. The first thing that needs to be asked. Okay, first of all, I will be able to do a setup. Okay, first thing is I will be able to log in if and only if I have been given an access of user ID and password. Then that is the first thing in the security, from a security standpoint of. Okay, so giving an access or getting an access for the for logging into the environment or the instance, okay, of the ERP. So that is the first step of security. Okay, so similar kind of things, you should have a question like, I can see all these applications. From where can I, get the access to it? So that is all something that is answered as part of the security administration. Okay. Okay. In Oracle Fusion, the security model is a role-based security model. Okay, let's understand first thing. Credential is something that will be available to you. Okay, let's say you are an employee of the organization. So definitely you need to be given a credential so that you can work, you can carry out your tasks in the, ERP. Okay, so that is where your user ID and passwords will be generated and provided to you. So that is the first question in the security administration. Okay, who who needs to be given access? Okay, that is the first question. So therefore your user IDs would be created and your passwords would be created, and then what is the next question in the security administration is what? Okay, what applications or what functional access has to be provided to you? Okay, that is the second question that needs to be answered from for by a security or administration perspective. So therefore this question is to be answered by the security administrator, who is supposed to actually give the accesses or provide the accesses to different employees of the organization. Okay, then which data? Okay, which all type of data should be, or the access of those data should be provided to the users? Why? That is also a key question, right? Not all people should be able to access all type of data. A person from the operations department should not be able to access the key financial information of the company, okay, or of the organization. Okay, similar, that is the reason data is also an important question from the security administration perspective. So these are primarily the three questions that needs to be answered whenever we are talking about a security being granted. Okay, or some accesses being granted to the employees. Okay, so who you have understood, I believe. There are certain user IDs that can be created. Okay, user IDs need to be created and respective passwords need to be set up for the access of the Oracle instances, Oracle ERP. Then what means the applicational access or the functional access? what are the accesses that they would require, what all application and function access would they require for carrying out the for carrying out their day-to-day business activities. Okay, and then which data we will understand. So the next point, this what question is something that we are going to discuss now. Okay, so that is where we have the security for answering that question of what functions and what accesses to be provided. As part of that, we say that it is a role-based security model. Okay, in Fusion, it is a role-based security model that we have. Now, what is the meaning of role-based security model? Okay, so Oracle Fusion applications use a role-based access control security model. Users are assigned roles. Okay, they are assigned certain roles. Okay, through which they gain access to functions and data within the application. So functions are what? Basically, I took you through the navigation, right? We went to Payables application, and inside that we went to invoice. And in the invoice, we saw certain tasks. Now these tasks are called functions. Okay, task means invoice creation is a function. Okay, that or a task. Similarly, what do you say? Accounting, running the accounting is a function. So now each of these functions, okay, basically how do you get an access to each of these functions and applications and data for that matter? Through the roles. Okay, the roles that are assigned to your ID, to your user ID. Okay, based on that you will get the access. Okay, we will understand, or we will see how the roles are assigned. Okay, so don't worry about that. So we are just covering the conceptual part of it. Okay, then in the system we will definitely see how these roles can be granted to each of the users. Now all of user roles are active concurrently. Users do not have to select a role when they sign in. Now this has been specifically said in terms of how it used to be in the earlier traditional ERP suite, that is the e-business suite. There used to be a responsibility, and every time you log in, you want to navigate to a certain functional area, you had to switch the responsibility, and at that point of time only that responsibility would be working. Okay, so that is what that was the concept there. But now in this case, when once you log in, you don't have to switch your responsibility. It is just that certain functional areas are available, you just need to go inside that and the respective tasks would come up. You don't need to switch it, switch to the other responsibility in order to carry out your tasks. Okay, now this is what will explain you what is the role based security model. Okay, so let's say, for example, there is a user. Okay, user means the employee who has been given access to the Oracle application or Oracle instance, you can say. Okay, so this is a person, this is an employee who has been created as a user for the Oracle environment, Oracle ERP environment, and he has been provided with a ID and password. So this is the user. And now this user, in order to carry out certain activities, okay, that with respect to his duties or his roles in the organization, he has to be provided certain roles, okay, in the system, the access to certain roles to the system. Okay, now what is it? So let's say, for example, employee. He is an employee of the company, right? And in order to carry out certain tasks from an employee perspective, so like, he has to put up absences, or his leaves he has to log in. Similarly, he wants to see his pay slips. Okay, similarly, he wants to see what is he going to be paid. Okay, XYZ, all the specific employee related activities. Okay, more or less it can be called as the human resource related activities. Okay, that he wants to see. Okay, or that things he want to carry out, then he needs to have an access to the role called employee. So there is a role predefined in Oracle, okay, which specifically gives accesses of functions that he can, or he or she can perform being an employee of the organization. Okay, it has got nothing to do with his functional role or his departmental role. It is all about him being an purely being an employee of the organization. What are the employee specific activities that he has to perform? For that, a role is available which gives him those accesses. Okay, named as employee. The role is named as employee. Now the same user, him being part of some functional teams. Okay, functional means the business departments. Okay, so basically marketing is a function of the business, right? Similarly, sales is a function of the business. Similarly, payable, okay, accounts payable is a function of the business. Accounts receivable is a function of the business. So him being part of those functions, okay, he has to carry out his tasks related to those functions. Now, in order to do that, he needs to be given access to those roles. Okay, those roles in the ER. Okay, so basically, how you can relate it in a simple terms is, uh, let's say an employee. Okay, I am an employee of the company. Okay, and I am specifically part of the accounts payable department. And what is my role? I am an accounts payable accountant. Okay, a junior accountant, or a supervisor, let's say. Okay, so that is where I have to be given the role of the accountant additionally in ERP. Okay, that role will ensure that I have the access first of all to the payable application, and then in turn some of the activities, okay, that I can perform as part of the payable department. Okay, specifically the accountant tasks. Okay, so that is where I will be given the role of accountant. So general accountant is with respect to the general ledger. Okay, general ledger application. Okay, general accounting manager is also with respect to the general ledger application. Okay, so general accounting team is there, right, who actually are supposed to finalize the statements, finalize the books of accounts. Okay, so they are part of the general accounting team. Okay, so therefore for them to perform their tasks, okay, they need the general ledger application access, and in turn all the functions that can be performed, like creation of a journal, posting of a journal, all those things. Okay, for that they will need an access, also publishing of the reports. So that is where they need the access of the general ledger application, and in turn they need to be provided with the respective roles. So a manager, okay, will have certain additional privileges. Okay, so manager will have what? Certain additional privileges that he can carry out. And that is the reason a separate role has been created in Oracle called the general accounting manager. So depending upon the duties, okay, with respect to each of the functions that they need to carry out, the roles are available. Certain standard rules, okay, based on the universal business process. Okay, world over, there is a general business process being followed. Based on that, Oracle has already predefined certain roles that will give access to the application as well as to certain functions. Okay, and according to that, they have named the role as well. General accountant role, general accounting manager role. Okay. Now, with respect to that, we will understand the segmentation in the each of the roles as well. Okay, let me just, okay, I'll come to that later. Okay, so in Oracle, with respect to financials, okay, these are some of the roles that you will be looking at, or that during our training process we will be looking at. These some of the, these are the roles, some of the roles that we will be looking at, or basically, you will need access, okay, of these roles in order to carry out the some of the setup activities, as well as to carry out the transaction processes in each of these applications. Okay, so application implementation consultant is the role that is required for carrying out the setup related activities. Okay, so you saw, right, in the login page, we went to this particular icon, and there in their settings and actions, we saw setup and maintenance, right? Now, this task we will be able to access, okay, if we have the application implementation consultant role assigned to our user. Okay, only then will we be able to have the way we will be able to see this task, setup and maintenance task. Okay, so being a consultant, being an implementation consultant who is supposed to configure the applications, financial applications, supply chain application, procurement applications, you need the access of application implementation consultant for your user ID. Okay, so in my case, I have already those roles, and that is the reason I'm able to, for my user ID, I already have those roles assigned to me, and that is the reason I'm able to see this setup and maintenance task, and even I'm going able to go inside it. Okay, similarly, for each of the transactional aspects, okay, you need these roles available to your user ID. So if it is a general accountant, okay, ledger, general accounting department, if it is an employee, he needs to have an access of general ledger accountant, general accountant, or general accounting manager, depending upon his role in the organization. Okay, manager will have additionally, as an example, let me tell you, a period close that you have seen, right? So it is something that will be available to the manager. It will not be available with the general accountant. So if you only assign general accountant role, then he would be only, or he or she would be only able to perform the accounting related tasks, the journal creation and all those things. But they may not be able to perform the period opening or closing activities. So for that, general accounting manager is required. Okay, so that way for each of the application you have. So in case of accounts payable, you have invoice supervisor. Okay, similarly, accounts payable payment supervisor, payable manager, receivable specialist, receivable manager. See, these are all the roles which are predefined by the Oracle. Okay, so that you can work on the applications. Okay, again, this is not something that is hard and fast. Even you can configure custom roles as well, depending upon the business requirement, because this is kind of a predefined role and it gives you certain accesses. Now, over and above that, also, the business has a requirement that not all things need to be provided to the accountant. Whatever is there in the seeded or the Oracle predefined role, that also is not something that is required. Let's say, for example, there is a junior accountant. Okay, now junior accountant needs only should be able to only create the journals. He should not have access to run the report accounting. He should not have access to, you know, run certain reports. Then in that case, giving general accountant a role to him will not work, because general accountant role has many more activities that can be performed. Now, not all things are required. So that is the reason. Then in such a case, you will have to create custom rule. Okay, custom role that specifically gives those specific accesses only to the users, concerned users or concerned employees, you can say. Okay, so in such a way, but yeah, just for your information, these are the seeded roles which we will work with. Okay, and then we will be able to perform all the activities. The configuration activities gets enabled with the assignment of application implementation consultant, and all the other application related transactions if you want to perform, then we need these particular roles available with us. Okay, for each of the application. Now, further, we will understand in a bit more detail, we will understand what is the breakup of a role. Okay, so basically, the job role, okay, is something that we assign. So all these roles that we have seen, general accounting, accounting manager, payable, invoice supervisor, these are actually called job, okay, which indicates relate or which highlights that it is related to a specific job that is to be carried out by the employees. Okay, so that is why it is also called as a job role. Job role groups users in support of the duties likely to be performed, such as the job of an accounts payable manager. Okay, so that is why it is also called a job role. Okay, now job role is not something that is directly configured. Okay, so under job roles there are certain other elements called duty roles and privileges. Okay, now what are these, we will understand. Okay, now under the job role you are able to perform certain activities, right? Like creation of an invoice, okay, or processing of the invoices. Okay, similarly processing of the payments. So those are actually duties, right? In the real life also, I mean in practical life also, you call it as a duty, right? Your duty of processing the invoices, your task or your duty is what in that particular organization? Processing the invoices, the supplier invoices. Okay, so that is why it is even in Oracle also the terminology is used as duty roles. So multiple duty roles together, they form a job role, right? A particular accountant in the accounts payable department will have the duty of, processing the invoice. Also might be having the duty of processing the payments also, payments as well. So now these two duties together form the role of him being an accounts payable accountant. Okay, so that is why multiple duty roles together forms a job role. Even in Oracle architecture, that is the same way. Okay, so multiple duty roles are there, which are together constituted and clubbed together to form a job role. Now, within each of the duty role, also there are certain things called privileges. So this is just a breakup, okay, breakup of how the job role is designed. Okay, so privileges. Now, what is privileges? A particular action that you can perform with respect to each of the duties. Okay, which and in turn the tasks that are performed within a job role. Okay, a particular action or a set of actions that you can perform. Okay, like adding an invoice, that is an action. Okay, or deleting an invoice, that is an action. Okay, validating an invoice, that is an action. Okay, sending the invoice for approval, that means initiating the approval, that is an action. So these things are called privileges. Okay, each of the minutest tasks that you can perform, these are actually called privileges. Okay, so multiple privileges or a set of privileges, you can say, they form certain duties, and a set of such duties grouped together will form a job. Right, you just align it with your real life, or day-to-day business life. You just align it with that. Right, so you being a payable accountant, that is your job. Okay, so what are your duties? You need to process the invoices, you need to process the payments. Right, now as part of those duties, what do? You add the invoice, you cancel the invoice, you send the invoice for approval. Similarly, you create the payments, you send the payments for approval. Okay, you void the payments, you stop the payments. So these are all small minor activities that you do as part of your role, right? So now those things, in order to be performed, are actually created as privileges in the ERP. So these are called privileges. Okay, certain actions that you can perform with respect to a subject area or a functional area. Okay, so now multiple privileges are defined. So these are actions which are created as privileges, and multiple privileges, they together form duty roles, and multiple duty roles, they together form a job role. So you will understand that when I show it to you in the system. Okay. So an abstract role, what is an abstract role? Abstract role groups users without respect to a specific job, such as an employee. Okay, it is not related to any specific functional job. Okay, rather it is a generic thing. Okay, or a generic role that is assigned to you, like the case of employee we mentioned, right? Employee is an employee. Okay, and they have to perform certain employee related tasks. It is not related to any specific function in the business. The functional tasks that they have to perform, it is not related to that. It is just a role that helps them carry out a certain activities with respect to the employee, them being an employee of the organization. That is why such roles are called abstract roles. Okay, but then job roles are specifically with respect to the jobs that they need to carry out in the organization, in the functional departments of the organization. That is where job roles are available, and according to, so all these things that we have seen are job roles. Okay, under that job roles, how are the job role designed? Based on certain duties, and now all these duties are designed based on certain actions that they can perform, which are also called as privileges. Okay, we will continue tomorrow with the remaining session. If you have any questions, you can quickly ask, or else we can wrap up, and just give me a moment. Don't leave the session. One moment. Okay. So, if you have any questions, you can ask now.